never thought I would become the target of a serial killer. I was just a regular 13-year-old girl, living in a small town with my parents and an older brother. But everything changed when the news broke out about a serial killer on the loose in our town. At first, I didn't pay much attention to it. I mean, serial killers were just something you saw in movies or read about in books. They didn't actually exist in real life, right? But as the murder victims grew, I couldn't ignore it any longer. The killer had a specific target: teenage girls. And I fit the profile perfectly. It all started when I received a strange letter in the mail. It was handwritten, and the words were slanted and jagged, as if the person writing it was in a hurry. The letter read, "You're next. Watch your back." I immediately showed it to my parents, who brushed it off as a prank. But deep down, I couldn't shake off the feeling of unease. The next day, I received another letter. This time, it was accompanied by a photo of me walking to school. I was horrified. How did this person get a photo of me? Why were they targeting me? I tried to tell my parents again, but they just thought I was overreacting. They assured me that everything would be fine and I shouldn't worry about it. But I couldn't shake off the feeling of being watched. Everywhere that I go, I felt like someone was following me. I started seeing the same car parked outside my house every day, with the man sitting inside, staring at me. I tried to tell my parents, but they just brushed it off as paranoia. They didn't understand the fear that was consuming me. One night, I was getting ready for bed. I heard a noise coming from my closet. I froze, my heart racing. I slowly walked towards the closet and opened the door. To my horror, I saw a mask staring back at me. It was a clown mask with a sinister grin and dark, empty eyes. I screamed and ran out of my room, waking up my parents in the process. They searched my room and found no one. They chalked it up to my overactive imagination, but I knew what I saw. The next day, I found a note on my bed, written in the same jagged handwriting as the previous letters. It read, "I see you. I'm coming for you." I knew I had to do something before it was too late. I started to do my own research and found out that the serial killer was targeting girls with long, dark hair. I fit the description perfectly. I also found out that the victims were all found with their throats slit, with a clown mask placed on their face. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. The killer was after me, and he was getting closer. I tried to tell my parents again, but they still didn't believe me. They thought I was trying to get attention. I felt completely alone and scared for my life. I started skipping school, afraid to leave to the safety of my home. But the killer seemed to know my every move. He would leave notes and objects in my room, reminding me that he was watching me. One day, I received a note telling me to go to an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town. It was signed by the killer, and he had promised to leave me alone if I showed up. I knew it was a trap, but I also knew I couldn't keep living in constant fear. I had to face him. I snuck out of my house and made my way to the warehouse. As soon as I entered, I heard a voice behind me. "I've been waiting for you." I turned around to see a man wearing a clown mask, holding a knife. I froze, unable to move or speak. He slowly approached me, the knife glinting in the dim light. "You're going to be my next victim," he said with a sinister grin. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. He lunged towards me, and I closed my eyes, waiting for the inevitable. But suddenly, I heard a loud bang, followed by a thud. I opened my eyes to see the killer lie on the ground, a gunshot wound in his chest. Standing behind him was a police officer, gun at ready. "Are you okay?" he asked, helping me up. I couldn't believe it. The nightmare was finally over. The killer was taken into custody and I was safe. It turned out that the police had been tracking him for months, but they didn't have enough evidence to make an arrest until now. As I sat in the police station, giving my statement, I couldn't help but think about how lucky I was to be alive. I also couldn't help but wonder, what if my parents had believed me sooner? Would I have been spared from all this terror? But I pushed those thoughts away, grateful to be alive and safe. From that day on, I never took my safety for granted. I learned to trust my instincts and to speak up when something didn't feel right. And I made sure I always keep my loved ones close, knowing that they were my biggest protectors. The experience may have left me scared, but it also made me stronger. I survived the terror of a serial killer, and that was something I will never forget.